Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Yana and this is The Scented, and we usually talk about fragrances. So if that's a passion of yours, then make sure that you go ahead and hit that big red button and subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss a video. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the Maison Margiela Replica line. I will go through each fragrance. I have a few bottles of my own. I will let you know what each one smells like, and this is more or less of a buying guide, and I'll let you know which one I think is full bottle worthy and which ones are not. I'll let you know from the ones that I do have whether or not I would repurchase those bottles and why. So if you guys are interested, then make sure you stay tuned until the very end, because I'll also let you know which ones my favorite ones are from the entire house. So let's get started. The first fragrance is Whispers in the Library. This is a woody vanilla fragrance, and it does smell like old books. The whole concept behind this house is that it assigns a time and a place. So in this case, it's Oxford in '97, and it's meant to smell like paper and waxed wood. I don't necessarily smell paper and waxed wood. What I do smell is a vanillic woodiness. So I'm just gonna give it a spray on paper. I've worn this one a few times. It does smell kind of like opening an old book, like taking an old hardcover book from a library and opening it and smelling it. But if you add a little bit of vanilla in there, there's also a little bit of pepperiness. It subsides very quickly, and even though this is a very beautiful fragrance, the longevity on it is very, very poor. I get about 2 hours out of it until it becomes a complete skin scent. So for that reason, I don't think this is full bottle worthy. There are a lot of fragrances out there that share a similar scent profile, and this one really lacks performance. So for the price point, I don't advise it. I don't think that it's worth it unless you're just absolutely in love with the scent itself. The next fragrance is at the Barber's, and this is an herbaceous lavender rosemary, typical masculine scent, exactly how you would think a man would smell when he walks out of a barber shop. It's not outstanding or unique. There are a lot of fragrances that smell similar, that last longer, that project more, and that are more unique. So even though I find the scent profile very good, I just, again, think that for that scent profile, there are a lot of better options, so I would not advise a full bottle of this one. The next fragrance is Beach Walk, and Beach Walk I do have a full bottle of. I do love the presentation, by the way. I love the labels and how these bottles look. I love the sprayers, and it's a really well done presentation. I love the simplistic look of this. I do like this scent. This is a very suntan lotiony, musky, coconutty scent. It's very pretty. It smells just like being at the beach. It smells like vacation. It's lovely. It is really, really nice. So if you do like a suntan lotion type of scent, I would definitely recommend this one. I think it's quite beautiful. I would take this on vacation with me, but I would decant it into a smaller atomizer, because this is like, you can't lock this. It will spray in your bag. So I would not take this full bottle with me on vacation. But right now, during these times, this scent, this is exactly what I need. I would love to go on vacation, and for now, I can just smell this fragrance and feel like I'm on vacation. And it is a full-on suntan lotion scent. It's described on the label as sun-kissed salty skin. I'm not getting too much of the salty sun-kissed skin, maybe a little bit, but it's more of that suntan lotiony vibe, more coconutty, ylang, muskiness, like that sort of scent. Very similar to a suntan lotion. So if you're on a budget, you may opt for a suntan lotion, or Nuxe, the Nuxe line, the Nuxe Prodigieux, that one, the oil, the dry oil smells quite similar, and it's a little bit more affordable. But if you do want to get a little bougie, then this one is beautiful. So honestly, I would not repurchase this bottle myself. Once this runs out, I will not be repurchasing it, only because of the longevity issues and because, again, the lacking of a unique scent profile. There are many fragrances out there that smell like this, but I think it's lovely and beautiful and enjoyable, so I'll keep on enjoying it. The next fragrance is called By the Fireplace, and this is one that has caught the most hype, arguably, and this is one that I personally am not a fan of. Now, of course, guys, fragrances are very subjective. I don't enjoy it. It smells like campfire on my skin. It smells like I have been sitting by a campfire, and now my jacket and everything that's attached to me smells like the campfire now. So I just don't get it. And for me, I wouldn't recommend it. But if that's a fragrance that's appealing to you and you want to smell like campfire and you have fond memories with camping and maybe you can't just set a fire in your backyard and smell like campfire, then that's a good option for you. But for me, I can just set a fire in my backyard and just smell like this. So there is no need for me to spend this money to smell like a campfire. In fact, I wish I smelled like a campfire less often, but I live out in the country and I smell like campfire often. So personally, I would not recommend By the Fireplace. I personally do not enjoy this fragrance, but that being said, if you guys find the idea of a campfire smelling fragrance appealing, then absolutely go for it. And this is probably one of the more long-lasting ones from this collection. Next, we have a newer release, and it's called Bubble Bath. I went ahead and bought myself a full bottle of Bubble Bath when Sephora was having their sale. I was very excited. I love bubble baths. They are my favorite thing in the world. I love relaxing in a bubble bath. So I thought if I could have a fragrance that makes me feel the way I feel in a bubble bath, then I am here for it 100%. And I do love this fragrance. There is a coconutty bubbliness. There's a soapiness to it. It's fresh. It's so pleasant. I really, really like this fragrance. But it is very, very soapy. There is a lavender note in here as well, which I don't get too much of, but it could be just contributing to the soapiness. I mostly get like a musky, clean scent, a soapiness, and coconut. I do get a lot of the coconut in here, and I'm not a fan of synthetic coconut, but in here, I really enjoy it. And this fragrance, when I first got it, I thought I was allergic to it because I was having a really bad reaction and my sinuses were clogging up and I thought I would have to get rid of it. But I think I was just allergic to something else. So we're in the clear and I can go on enjoying this fragrance. And I think that I would repurchase it once this bottle runs out. But it took me a little while of playing with it to get there. So if you guys aren't sure about it and you smell it at first sniff and you're like, oh, I don't know, just give it 5, 6, 7 wearings and then make up your mind. I did a video on how to test your fragrances properly. I will link that at the top for you guys because it's very important that you guys test your fragrances properly before really making up your mind, or you could be passing up a beautiful gem that you could have fallen in love with. So check that one out after this video. And the next fragrance is Lazy Sunday Morning. Lazy Sunday Morning is meant to smell like soft skin and bed linens. The notes here obviously are musk, ambrette, which also smells like musk. There's lily of the valley, aldehydes, and I'll just spray this right up in the air. It smells like a laundry detergent or a dryer sheet sort of smell. It does have a little bit of a synthetic quality to it. It smells like fresh cotton in a way, but like a synthetic laundry-esque clean cotton. So I would not repurchase this fragrance. I may actually end up decluttering it. I don't think it's that great. There are a lot of other clean scents that I really enjoy. So it's pleasant. It is a pleasant scent, but I'm saying overall value for the fragrance, for the price point, longevity, the scent profile, how unique it is, I don't think it's worth it. So it's going to be a no for Lazy Sunday Morning. Next is Jazz Club. And Jazz Club, I don't have a full bottle of, but I absolutely love this fragrance, and the reason I don't have a full bottle is only because I have the fragrance oil from Oil Perfumery, which trumps the longevity and performance. So I see no purpose in having a full bottle of Jazz Club except for just a check mark for the collection, which I don't think is really all that necessary. But it's a really beautiful, sweet rum tobacco fragrance. It's got a little bit of pepperiness. It smells like being in a jazz bar. It smells exactly like that. It's, I think, a little bit more masculine. I love it on men. I've talked about it a lot in my men's fragrances videos, and I think it's very, very sexy. It's like a classy party boy that only goes to lounges, that likes to sit in the back of a jazz bar and sip his scotch or his whiskey or what have you. And it's like a smoke-filled room, but not smoky. Just, just a little bit of smoke from people that have gone outside and back in, but like high quality cigars, and maybe just a little bit of sticky booze on the floor from spilled drinks here and there. That's the vibe I get from Jazz Club. I think it's beautiful. I think if you would like to get a bottle of it, absolutely you should. But because the performance does lack on this fragrance, I opt for the oil because I have no shame in fragrance oils. You guys know how much I love my fragrance oils, and I have a ton. I'll do a separate video on those later. I've done a few in the past already. But yeah, when performance is lacking, I opt for the fragrance oil. So I'm going to link that down for you guys as well. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful scent. One of the best, honestly, from this entire lineup, and one of my favorite fragrances for men. So yeah, I think it's full bottle worthy. I do, but just mind the fact that the performance is a little bit lacking. The next fragrance is called Under the Lemon Trees, and it's a very bright, fresh lemony fragrance. It's actually more limey. It has a tea note. It's very fresh, and it really just smells like lemony and happy and uplifting, and it's a really pretty fragrance. Again, like as the whole trend with this house is, the performance does lack, but it is a really pleasant fragrance. So I wish I could say it's full bottle worthy, but I haven't purchased a full bottle yet because of the lacking performance. I do think that the fragrance is really, really pretty, and if I could get it for $50 or $60, I would 100% get it. I love a nice tea scent. I love a fresh citrus for the spring and summer. I love a nice uplifting, zingy fragrance, and there's no nasty synthetic notes in here. It's actually very, very pleasant and very breezy and light. So I do really like it. If you guys don't have a problem with performance issues and you're comfortable just overspraying, or you don't really mind poor performance, then go for it. But I don't recommend it only based on the lack of performance. Now the next fragrance is Lipstick On, and I do have a full bottle of this one. Lipstick On is Chicago 1952, and the fragrance description is Night Blush and Rice Powder. And this is a very makeup smelling fragrance, and I love it. It smells like powdery iris, heliotrope, which is a little bit almondy. It has a lot of vanilla in here, a lot of powderiness, a little bit of sweetness, and to me, a little bit of booziness. So this one, honestly, this would go hand in hand with Jazz Club. Imagine a man wearing Jazz Club and you as a lady wearing Lipstick On. It is the perfect combination of a his and hers. It's very elegant. It's powdery, it's feminine. It's a nice night out. It smells like when you open an expensive bag and you smell makeup in there, and maybe you're out and winding down towards the end of the evening. As I've described before, you smell some drinks all over the place. That's kind of what this is. Like, it smells like an elegant night of partying. So I do love this. I will keep repurchasing it if I can. And I've heard it's discontinued, but I still see it on The Bay, which is our Canadian department store. I see it on their website, which indicates it's not discontinued, and I also see it on Sephora.com, the American one. We don't have it in Canada for some reason, but in America, they do have it. So I'm guessing it's a little bit more exclusive, maybe a little bit more hard to find. I sure hope that it's not discontinued, at least. So get your hands on Lipstick On if you can, because it is a stunner, especially if you like a nice iris makeup-y scent. This is one of the best that I've ever smelled, and I love it. And the performance on this one is good. It's not lacking like all of the other ones that I've mentioned. So yes. We're down to the last two that I'm going to discuss, and the next fragrance is called Music Festival, and this one actually is pretty accurate to the name. It has notes of cannabis, tobacco, incense, patchouli, leather, I believe, and some woodiness. So personally, I strongly dislike this fragrance. It smells quite dirty. It smells unpleasant. It just smells like you've been at a party for very long and you have the alcohol sweats and you haven't taken a shower and you have all this residual smoke of various sorts all over your body, just kind of embedded in your hair and in your clothing, and it's not a pleasant scent. It is a creative scent, but it is not a pleasant scent, and I do not want to smell like this ever, ever, ever. I think this is probably my hatest one from the entire Replica lineup. I do not like it at all, and I wouldn't recommend it. I would never buy a full bottle, and I don't advise you guys to. So Music Festival is probably the worst of them all. Moving on, we are at the very last one, which I do have a full bottle of, and this is Coffee Break. And Coffee Break, we're gonna end on a good note. Coffee Break is beautiful, and I absolutely love it. And I'm gonna just give it a spray on paper. Oh my God, this fragrance makes me happy. It gives me the sweet little burst of coffee in the beginning. Just the most beautiful coffee note. Honestly, one of my favorite coffee notes that I've ever smelled in a fragrance. It has a beautiful blend of lavender and coffee, which is so unique. It gives us this freshness, like a freshness that you would find in a men's cologne. So imagine you're standing out on a breezy balcony with shears blowing, you know, like those sheer drapes blowing through your balcony, and you're standing with your hot boyfriend who's wearing his clean white dress shirt, and you guys are just standing on that balcony having a cup of coffee, just like a nice cappuccino, like a little bit frothy. That's what this fragrance smells like. Just like you having a nice romantic time with your sexy boyfriend on a balcony. It's so good. It is so good. I wish this coffee note lasted longer. It lasts about an hour and a half, and then it dries down to still a very pleasant scent. So I will repurchase this. I do recommend a full bottle of Coffee Break. It's very good. And now that we are at the end of the video and all the fragrances that I'm reviewing with you guys, I'm gonna tell you my favorite ones. Coffee Break is definitely one of my favorites from the Maison Margiela Replica line. It's probably my number one in this whole list. So my second favorite is Lipstick On. It has good performance, and I love this powdery makeup scent. It's on number 2. And on number 3 is Jazz Club, which unfortunately I don't have a full bottle of, but I do love the scent, and the reason why it's on number 3 is only because of the lackage in performance. As a scent, it is incredibly beautiful, and if it performed well, it'd probably be on the number 2. I still love Coffee Break the most, but Coffee Break, because I wear it myself, that's why it's on number 1. So for me personally, Coffee Break. If I were a dude, I would say Jazz Club, but I'm not. So Coffee Break for me, number 1, Lipstick On, then Jazz Club. But as a man, Jazz Club number 1, then Coffee Break. Lipstick On isn't really masculine, so I don't recommend it for men. For men, Coffee Break and Jazz Club. For women, Coffee Break and Lipstick On. Just make sure that you keep note of the fact that the performance on these is painfully bad. It is not good for the price point. So for the most part, they don't perform well. So just make sure you test it on your skin. My skin is very dry, so fragrances don't tend to really last on my skin very long anyways, but these ones are worse than normal. So yeah, just keep that in mind, and I hope you guys found this video helpful. I hope you enjoyed, and if you guys did, then please make sure to head on down and hit that big red button and subscribe to this channel, and make sure to hit the notification bell as well so that you guys never miss a video. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!